NBA Youngboy is one of the most influential artists in the game right now. Known for his emotional delivery, raw lyrics and insane work ethic, he's been shaping the sound of a whole generation of trap music. Youngboy's sound blends street energy with vulnerability. His beats often carry dark, ambient guitar melodies or melancholic piano loops, layered with bouncy drums and emotional vocal delivery. That contrast is what makes his music hit so hard. And today I'm gonna show you how to make an emotional guitar beat in the style of NBA Youngboy. Something that hits deep but still knocks. So without talking too much, let's get right into it. In order to get this emotional but catchy and bouncy sound, we gotta keep the chords, our foundation of this melody, very simple. So let's start with a simple chord progression like this. Now I'm gonna grab my guitar and show you how you can make a chord progression like this on your own guitar. And I will also blend in the notes as a piano roll, so you can come up with something similar when you're using a VST guitar. Alright, so the first chord that you hear is a C sharp minor chord. And I actually didn't play it live, so in one take. The first thing that I recorded was this. And then I added this. And then you can hear the slide sound, which leads us into our next chord, which is an A major chord and it's played like this. So as you can see, I used this hammer on, hammer off technique, which is pretty easy. And from there on, we just go up 2 to a B major chord, which is played like this. So as you can see, again, the hammer on, hammer off technique, but this time after it, it goes down to this note. Now that we got our foundation for the melody done, we gotta add some top lines to it to make it sound more melodic. And when adding top lines or top melodies, no matter if on the guitar or any other instrument, it's very important to ensure that it matches the chords. So you can only make it real bouncy if the timing is right and you got a nice rhythm to it, and you can only make it real melodic if the top notes match the chords. So this is what I came up with. And the top notes are actually a bit special. So first I muted the string, the G string, with my palm. So just slightly lay your hand on the strings down here and then you play it and it sounds like this. But I only did it for 1 or 2 picks and then it goes up. And then after that we go from this note and then at the end to this little lick right here. And as you may have noticed, our guitars sound a bit plain, dry and boring right now. So to get that fixed, we gotta mix them. And when mixing guitars, it is very important to make sure that you have a nice amp loaded up and you EQ'd it right. So first, let's load up Guitar Rig and choose one of my presets from my Guitar Masters kit. Then let's open up a random EQ and cut out some lows. And now let's take a listen on how it sounds and maybe remove some more frequencies that don't sound good. And now let's also mix the top lines. And what I basically do is I just copy the same thing over and then cut out some more lows because all of these are not necessary for the top line and they just sound muddy in the final mix. And then let's also take a listen and maybe remove some more frequencies. And Youngboy's guitar beats don't only exist of guitars. A lot of times you can hear some keys in the background. For example, on the song Acclaimed Emotions. And when I am adding keys to my guitar loops, I really like to come up with another melody than on the guitar. That way you just get a bit of variation. But again, it's very important to make sure that it fits the chords and you don't make everything sound messy. But on the other side, when I'm going for a more ambient and R&B-ish sound, I just layer the guitars with some keys that only play the chords and not an extra melody. But for this loop, I wanted to add an extra one. So I went into Contact, opened up this Noir bank and chose this jazzy preset right here. And then I came up with this pattern. And as I said, I always make sure that it fits the guitar so we can layer them both. And this is what the piano sounds like with the first guitar. Alright, next we gotta come to the easiest part of the whole melody making process, creating ambience. And to create some ambience in this loop, I first added this pad from Xenology. As you can see, it sounds pretty bad, and to make it sound more interesting and clean and also add some rhythm and bounce, I first added this EQ and then this sidechain kind of tremolator effect. And the reason why it sounds so messy is because I just copied over the exact same pattern from the keys. So if we turn on the effects, it sounds like this. And then for some extra ambience, I added a vocal phrase and a guitar phrase from Splice. And to finish this sample off, I wanted to add a bass. And for the bass, I also went in Contact again, and I chose this double date preset from the Scabi Rickenbacker bass bank. And then I just came up with this simple pattern. But before we can come to the drums, I pitched the whole sample up 100 cents. So after rendering it out and pitching it up, it sounds like this. The drums on Youngboy's melodic songs are often very simple. On the other side, we have to make sure that they are still bouncy, hard-hitting and easy to rap on. And to check all of these criteria, I started off with this simple but bouncy hi-hat pattern. Then of course a clap which just plays on the normal clap spot throughout the whole beat. And to make the beat really bouncy, I wanted to add two different counter snares. So first we got this one, and then also this one. And together with the hi-hat and the clap, they sound like this. And before we can come to the 808, which makes the beat hit really hard, I wanted to add a perk, because perks are also something that you can hear on almost every NBA Youngboy track. So this is the perk that I just added. And on top also an open hat which just plays on the 1. And now let's come to the 808. Youngboy's beats often still include a spins 808, so I added this spins right here. And then I came up with this pattern. As you can see, I really wanted the 808 to be really bouncy. So that's why I added this roll and also this roll at the end. And together with all sounds, the drums sound like this. Yeah, and that's already it for the drums. And if you are wondering what drum sounds I used in this beat, all drum sounds are from a 2024 Stash drum kit, which you can grab through the first link in the description. So I hope this video was helpful and you learned something from it. If yes, drop a like and a comment, and now enjoy the full beat.